Saturday to you and good afternoon. This is Dr. Preston Ray Winfrey, and how in the world today are you? Well, I trust and pray that you're having a fantastic day and that you've had a great week. So much is going on, and we've had some extremely warm weather. But I want you to know I am not complaining. I am thankful. I'm grateful in my heart because it just didn't have to be. The Lord didn't have to give me what He gave me, nor you. And so for that, we do find ourselves thankful and we bless the Lord for all that He has done. And I trust that you're doing good. Your health is good. You're in your right mind. I am. I have a reasonable portion of my health and strength, and I'm just eternally grateful. I'm grateful because I realize that at the flick of an eye, the twinkling of an eye, I could be gone. But the Lord has permitted me to be here, and guess what? He has permitted you to be here another day, another opportunity. So we make the best out of every situation. You know, you learn in life, change the things you can change, and the things that you cannot change. You know, you pray about them, and you keep moving, you keep stepping. And by all means, don't do the silly thing that I used to do, staying up late hours, worrying and stressing, only to discover later on you're still at the same spot. And so you have to just kind of wait for some things to happen. You can't manipulate everything in life. You can manipulate a few things, but you can't manipulate everything. So get a little wisdom, enough to know the difference between what I can do, what I cannot do. And then you go on from there and you say, well, Lord, help me with the balance. Well, my talk today, friend, is this. Don't chase the wind. Don't chase the wind. WIND. Don't chase it. Don't chase it. Now, I know it sounds silly, it sounds goofy, right? Who chases the wind? Well, stay with me. And you're going to find out that the wind that I'm speaking of today is more than just the breeze that we feel outside. But wind can be so many different things. You know, life for us can be very, very interesting. You know, our pursuits, our dreams, they can propel us into getting ahead. Get ahead of the game, get ahead of everyone else, and then stay ahead, right? You know, do everything you can to get ahead, stay ahead, always be one up on everyone else. And can I tell you, doing that, that's a lot of work. It requires a lot of your energy, a lot of your time, and you will find yourself really getting stressed out trying to maintain that kind of momentum. So, you know, why not just kind of take a chill every once in a while, slow things down and say, wait a minute, you know, I live in a real world and I'm not going to be able to do everything. I'm not going to accumulate everything. I'm not going to be happy with everyone. Everyone is not going to be happy with me. So at best, I need to be at peace with me and who I am. How often have you reached a goal only to realize that with that goal that you've reached, you are still lacking some things? There are still places you have not gone. There are people you have not seen. There are things you have not done. And then there are things you still do not know. And someone says, well, what you don't know can't hurt you. In some instances, yes. But what you don't know sometimes can destroy you. It can kill you. So it behooves us to learn what we can and then can what we learn. And then at our own quiet time, try and sort those things out so that you can, at best, sort of figure some things out. God gives us wisdom, He gives us strength, gives us knowledge, but God relies upon us to activate what He has given us. And so, how well are you in activating what He's given you? Are you chasing the wind? So let's go at it. People, can be wind. Relationships can be wind. Things, possessions, money, power, success. All of these things can be identified as wind. And being a little boy growing up, I every once in a while would see the wind and how the wind would push things, sometimes slowly, sometimes rapidly. But what I could never understand were those times when the wind would just have things going in a circle. It's strange. I just never could figure it out. And I can recall one day getting a jar with a top on it. I was a boy, so don't beat me down on this. And I took a scoop of the wind and and quickly put the lid on, and I went back indoors and I took the lid off, unscrewed it, and put my face next to it. But guess what? There was no wind in that jar. I did not capture the wind. I was right there in the midst of the wind, but I was unable to capture the wind. You cannot capture the wind. There are things that we pursue, we chase after, and sometimes we can get a semblance of who they are, what it is. But in its totality, we can never get it. And I don't believe that we were meant to catch the wind, right? Again, money, power, and success, all of these things that we go after. But many times they don't go after us. And we need to recognize those things that simply serve as a mirage. There are mirages in life, things that we see with our eyes, we feel it in our hearts, but once we get to it, it's not there. We look around and we wonder, did someone take it? We swear to ourselves, I know it was there, I saw it. Well, sometimes we see what we want to see. We hear what we want to hear. We feel what we want to feel. And for us, we make that a reality. We say, this is it. This is it. This is it. I know it's it. But how many times have you gone there only to discover what you felt was just a feeling? And feelings change. What you saw. Sometimes we have to wipe our eyes and take a second look and say, did I really see what I thought I saw? Are you chasing the wind today? Are you chasing people who do not want to be caught? The man told his woman one day, said, for 38 years, I've been trying to learn you and find out what to do that will really get your attention and satisfy you. And she said, for 38 years, I made it my business to make sure that you never find out who I am and what I'm all about and what I'm doing. And so we have to wake up and say, wait a minute, that I'm chasing, is it trying to latch on to me? Or is this a one-sided proposition? Sometimes in relationships, we're going after a person who does not share our feelings. They don't want a relationship. You're the only one that want it. And you say, but I know this is meant to be. And the Lord has sent this person into my life. Well, listen, be careful, because if the Lord sent that person into your life, then I believe the Lord will confirm that with that other person. But if it's just you pursuing, making the pursuit, and going on the premise that God sent that person, then you might want to go back and find out which God it was. God has a way of confirming what he wants to do and whom he wants to use, right? So sometimes we chase after things. It's just a great idea if I have these things. I want these things. I must have these things. I will be so much better off if I have these things. But are those things meant for you? And that's when it gets kind of hard and difficult to deal with, because we say, I'm going to speak those things that are not as though they may. Well, that's God's job to bring things into existence, right? He's the creator. We are not. So let's not get that part twisted. So when it comes to the issue of things, we need to be wise even in that pursuit. Find out, is this for me? Because I want it doesn't mean it's for me. And everything that is good to you is not always good for you. How many times have you sought out a relationship that was good to you, but in your heart, it was not good for you? And so what happened? It was just a matter of time when you said, I'll be glad when this is over. And so, the couple reaches a point where someone has to break the ice and give the Dear Jane conversation. And so the guy will say to the girl, well, it's not you, it's me. Sometimes the girl will say to the guy, well, it's not you, it's me. And I don't really feel worthy of you. And therefore, I think you and I just need to go our own separate ways. And so you bust up, you have a great breakup, and feelings are hurt, and your heart is shattered, and you're sitting up at night with a pint of ice cream, eating that with cookies. Um, the only thing that's going to do is put on some extra pounds that you're going to eventually have to work off. So, try to avoid that. Sometimes we chase after money, right? Think of the many people. For example, when they go after um, the lottery, for example, or gambling. They say, I just have this feeling. Oh, my hand is itching, and well, listen, those machines were not built and prepared for you to win. Yes, some people do win, but they're not prepared for you to win. They are prepared for the makers to win. So keep that in mind next time you decide to go on a spending spree. Use your money, if you will, for something that will be beneficial for you. And I hear you saying, well, I just have this extra money and this is my play money. Well, if it's your play money, do your thing. I'm just saying what I'm saying. They were not made for you to win. And if by chance you win indeed, then that is luck. Some people chase after power. I have to be in charge. I have to be large. I want to be seen. I want to be known. And that comes with a huge price. I think of so many artists and the like who they want to be in the limelight. Um, and in order to make it big on Broadway, in order to make it big in the music industry, then you have to sell out. You have to kind of go along with the program. You have to laugh at things that's not funny. You eat from the king's table. You have to laugh when the king say laugh. You have to do what the king says do. Um, and if you don't have the courage to be who you should be, and don't have the courage to do what is right, then you will be behind. So whenever you decide I'm going to stand up and do the right thing, then know there will not be great company surrounding you. That's right. So you have to have courage to say, you know what? I'm going to do the right thing, even if it means standing alone. And I can tell you, sometimes it gets lonely standing alone and looking at others as they have their so called fun. But when you've been in a game, when you have done that, then you get it. You say, you know what? They're really not having fun. They're just going along to get along. And this is what they do in order to try and give people the impression that they are living the life. But living the life is when you're clothed in your right mind and you have the peace of God in your heart. Right? There you go. And then finally, those who chase after success. There is no easy way to gain success, but there is a right way to gain it. And that is to follow the rules. Follow what the Creator has given you. Work hard and be diligent and be a person of integrity and be honest. You can be successful. And success does not always mean that I'm going to be a millionaire, right? Doesn't mean that I'm going to be surrounded with all of this property. Sometimes you can be successful all by yourself in your own one bedroom apartment. Don't even have to own a home. So you learn how to be successful, and it comes as a result of hard and intentional work. So let me get ready to close. I'm not ready to close, but I'm going to get ready to. Are you chasing the wind today? Are you one of those persons who's chasing the wind? What will you do once you get it? Will you do like I did once you get it and you put the cap on? I can already tell you what's going to happen. By the time you reopen that cap, there will be no wind because you cannot capture it. Who will protect your valuables once you get what you really say you want? So you accumulate all of these riches and all of these possessions, but now you have to hire someone because you can't stay up watching it. You've already tried that. So you got to pay a security team to come in and watch it. But then you got to get another security team to watch your security because they know that you're depending on them. And while you're sleeping, they're going to do their thing. They will pass things out of the window. Things will walk in bags and in shoes and the like. And when you go to do inventory, you're going to discover that something is missing and trying to trace down. And here you have your loyal security people, only to discover that they are not as loyal. And so if you don't have the courage to put them out, fire them, you're going to have to hire somebody else. You're going to have to get some security cameras to watch the people that you're paying to keep your valuables secure. Who's going to protect your valuables? Then who will get what you no longer can use? You do know the longer you live, that time is going to come about. I think of so many people who were famous and who refuse to let go of that fame. Sometimes they've gotten old, sometimes they can barely remember, but they remember how it used to be, and they want to hold on. They want to stay right there. Yeah, I used to have it big. I used to do this. People used to come to me. People used to ask for my advice. Well, now things have changed. They're no longer coming to you. They're no longer asking for your advice. You are not the subject of their conversations. And when they see you, they point and say, hey, that's the person who used to be. And now look at them. They can barely walk. They're hard of hearing. Their vision is bad. Their memory is bad. What good are they? And so they find a new idol. They find a new icon to click on, if you will. So listen to the wisdom of Solomon. And I'm going to read this from Ecclesiastes chapter 1. I want to start it as it talks about the meaninglessness of wisdom. Listen, Listen to what he says. I'm going to start right here at verse 12. And I'm going to read it um, from the New International Version. Reads like this: I, the teacher, was king over Israel in Jerusalem. I devoted myself to study and to explore by wisdom all that is done under heaven. What a heavy burden God has laid on men. I have seen all the things that are done under the sun. All of them are meaningless, a chasing after the wind. What is twisted cannot be straightened. What is lacking cannot be counted. I thought to myself, look, I have grown and increased in wisdom more than anyone who has ruled over Jerusalem before me. I have experienced much wisdom and knowledge. Then I applied myself to the understanding of wisdom and also of madness and folly. But I learned that this too is a chasing after the wind. For with much wisdom comes much sorrow. The more knowledge, the more grief. Wow. And that's from Solomon, the wise man. You know, so what are you chasing? Are you chasing that wind today? Are you trying to get on top and stay on top and make sure that you remain king of the hill? Things change. You know, grass grows, it's cut down. Flowers bloom and then they wither. You know, life is but a vapor. You see it and it dissipates. It's gone. And so uncomplicate your life today. Maybe you've been complicated. Maybe you're thinking and you're listening to people who's filling your head and your mind with a lot of stuff that really isn't good for you. Be wise. Quit chasing the wind. The wind has no definite direction. And listen, there are times the wind is blowing on your back. And you say, thank the Lord. But the wind can shift at any moment. And it can reverse and blow on your face. And all the debris, the dust, the trash that is down there can be blown right in your face. And so don't chase the wind today, my friend. Be wise. Live a simple life. You're not going to please everybody, but try and please the Lord and try and find some pleasure in life, in living. If it means getting rid of some things so that you can be happy, do it. Give. Don't wait for someone to come and take it. Give. You will be so pleased that you made that decision. All righty. Well, listen. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I want you to know I love you. God bless your hearts. This is the first Sunday. Well, I'm already moving to Sunday. First Saturday in June. And this is my birthday month. As a matter of fact, next Saturday is going to be my birthday. So I pray that I'll have something very special to say for next Saturday, but today is going to have to be as special as it can be. But it is an encouragement to you to, if you're chasing the wind, stop chasing the wind. Understand if they don't want to be bothered with you, they're doing you a favor. Learn the lesson and be to yourself. You can do bad by yourself, but the other side of the coin is you can be happy by yourself, right? You know, God so loved the world. You can say God so loved, the rich and the famous, the popular. No, God so loved the world. He gave his only begotten Son. Whosoever believes in him shall not perish, but shall have eternal life. Listen, I have that eternal life. It's through Jesus Christ, my Lord. He is now in heaven, but one day he's going to return for those who love him. And I love him. Do you love him today? Do you really love him? From the depths of your heart, do you love him? Then if so, quit chasing the wind. Live for the Lord and enjoy your life, enjoy this day, and enjoy your weekend. This is Dr. Winfrey saying over and out. I love you. May the Lord bless you. May he keep you and cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift the light of his countenance upon you and grant you peace. Take care.